All right, good morning, everyone. This is Boaz. Out and about, heading to my little mini mansion restoration project, which is going to take forever. Again, hard to find people that's going to put in that work, but I was thinking, all of the devastation that's taken place, it's important to be prepared for all contingencies, as many contingencies as possible. And I tell you, when we saw that the power was out, I got out there that night and started rebuking the wind. As I'm telling you, this tornado went for 220 miles and was a mile wide and took everything in its path. And surprisingly, how many people survived and how few people died. But you never know the day or the hour that the Most High is going to call you. And it was a very sobering experience, because who knew that one of the largest tornadoes recorded in Kentucky history would hit and lay waste to such devastation. I say all that to say, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, the storm has been very tragic, and it's unfortunate that situations come about like this, where it's a tragic situation. I mean, but a lot of opportunities are coming as a direct result of it. And I thank y'all for sparing me, but also giving me abundance and blessings and opportunities. Y'all's ways higher than our ways. I mean, it's interesting how things work. But, it got me to thinking about life insurance, marriage, and what are the responsibilities of the husband past the grave or past death. And I've come to the simple conclusions that, once husband is gone, wife is free. Once wife is gone, husband is good. However, if you love your family, if you love your children, what kind of provision should we be setting aside and setting behind to ensure that they are not destitute? It's one of the most grievous things in the spirit to see a husband pass on, because we out there working. Outside of childbirth, my wife, there's minimal danger that she experiences. Tree limb falling or something like that, or trip or fall or something like that, but she's pretty much good. She's pretty much secure. But us men, we got to go out there and we got to brave the world. We got to put our lives on the line. And again, what are the responsibilities of a man beyond death in that regard? And I think that it is a responsibility of all men, capable men, that if you have children and a family, that they should be taken care of. And the simple way to do that is by life insurance. I mean, life insurance is just not a very expensive thing to purchase. You can get a $100,000 policy, $250,000 policy for under $50 for the price of a cell phone bill. But it's amazing to see how many people, especially men and y'all, that don't have life insurance policy, just in case, they pass away. I mean, I was saw a situation where a polygamous man, he passed away, left behind wives and children, and the wives and children on GoFundMe, begging for money. When a simple life insurance policy, the cost of a dinner, the cost of, Americans, we spend money on soda, fast food. We have the money. I mean, the brokest American is richer than any Bangladeshi peasant that you'll ever run across. However, the same people don't make provisions. Well, the scriptures talk about a man puts back for his children's children, thereby creating generational wealth and eliminating poverty. And it's sad to see how so many of our people, they go on all these rappers, all these people, because the record producing companies, they got life insurance policies on these people. But, the average Joe, you have a wife, or 2 or 3 wives, or whatever, you should have a life insurance policy, man. Just in case something happens. Of course, I want to grow old in a bed surrounded by children and grandchildren. Impossible. But I don't decide that. So therefore, I have to make sure that I'm a responsible man to, ensure that, God forbid something happens to me, my wife and children are taken care of. That they have no issues whatsoever, that they're not worried about what they're going to do with my body. They're not worried about grieving and how they're going to pay the little expenses that we do have. Set. I'm talking about set. Don't have to worry about a thing. Can grieve and don't have to put up a GoFundMe, asking and begging people for money. Don't have to do that. This is just my personal opinion. Should have some life insurance. There's families that put life insurance policies on everybody. So, God forbid somebody pass on, which is inevitable. Everybody's appointed to death. That, hey, the family unit does not have to suffer, and you have the provisions in place. It's a grievous thing to see these situations happening over and over and over again. People dying, and the wife is destitute. The children are destitute. Oh, no, not in my house. That is unacceptable. But all you need to do is get a little life insurance policy. $50,000. You can get cheap life insurance. This is why I don't understand how little value men put on the security of their families. Especially all these tough guys. All these macho Hebrew Israelites. Ask them if they got a life insurance policy. Ask them if their children will be taken care of in the event that somebody, I bet you 1,000% they ain't got a damn life insurance policy. Walking around talking about this and that because everybody think that, they're immortal just because, they read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, that they're going to be immortal and they're going to live forever. It's just ridiculous, the thought process. And how do you know the thought process? By how people act functionally. That's why it's so important to look at function. And not to listen to what people say, but watch what they do and watch what they don't do. Watch what they say, watch what they don't say. Watch what they advocate for, watch what they don't advocate for. Look at the mannerism of their lifestyle. It'll tell you everything that you need to know about the character, personality, style, work ethic, values, morals of that individual. So I say it to say, responsible men, real men, they make sure that things are taken care of in an event that something does happen. So just like you're prepping and we're stocking supplies, food, materials and stuff, things that we need for hard times because of this inflationary depression that we're under, and we see people going under, hey, you're going to have to ensure that you're doing the same thing. Shucks, missed my turn. you're going to have to ensure that you're doing the same thing to insulate yourself from a whole lot of pain that happens as a direct result of the breadwinner losing that income, losing that their life, and then wife and children destitute. Do you have a life insurance policy? Is your wife or wives taken care of in the event of something happening to you? Well, I think we all know what that question, the answer to that question is when you just see if you got a life insurance policy or not. We truly don't love, or men that claim that they love their they really don't love their wives and their children like they claim that they do. Why? Because of the actions that they have taken or have failed to take. I've seen it happen over the last couple of years. People dying and, hey, wife destitute. Now she packing bags. Now she working at Walmart. Now she's struggling because the husband failed to be a leader to ensure that that family unit was provided for. Wouldn't it be a beautiful thing that if you take, you go on and your wife doesn't have to worry about anything. She's fully taken care of. The children don't have to, they get the morning, they go on and they can become an asset to someone else's house. See, a lot of people don't think like this because, see, money doesn't solve all problems. Would you be willing to cover a woman where her husband passed on and she had 2, 3, 4 kids, $250,000, all debts paid off, and a man of honor wouldn't come and take care of that situation because he knows that it's not going to be a socioeconomic burden? Sure he would. But on the flip side, she a Jezebel, he was an Ahab. They broke, destitute. Who's going to take on that situation? Think about it. Life insurance, fiscal responsibility is a functional thing that you can tell that people have when you just ask them a simple question. Do you have life insurance? Simple. This is not complicated. You can't afford it. It's just that, again, folk don't love their children and their families and their wives like they claim that they do. It's a functional thing, people. Not just somebody that get up there and got honey dripping off their lips. There's plenty of people out there that good at that. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I've read, man, it's so much religious folks. They sound real good. They sound so spiritual. But can't swing a hammer, can't do shit, and claiming that they men. See, real men laugh at this kind of stuff. They're a joke to real men because we know that they front. Women, is your husband a fronter? Of course, they know that they're a boot-licking husband. They know that they ain't worth shit. But, we live in a day and age where everybody's fronting, like they're doing something, like they're moving and they're shaking when they ain't doing a damn thing at all. Life insurance. Get some. It's important.